The world in 2020 is rapidly evolving. Every day, humankind reaches new heights and gains technological advancements. However, where I come from, things are a bit different. Welcome to Beirut. The people here have three identities: their country, their party, and their religion. Still, they are trying to act like a normal people. But so far, they are failing. After the blast, Beirut plunges into chaos. Memories of the civil war haunt the collective memory. The war days are far from over. In fact, they perpetuate. By 7 p.m., the streets of Beirut are empty.
This is the President. I am speaking to you from the Palace of the Presidency. On this day, August 4th, 2020, a devastating blast rocked our capital. I am declaring Beirut a city of war. All residents are advised to get ready for it.
Take this random neighborhood in northern Beirut. Its inhabitants decided it was time to close themselves off from the rest of the city, and fend for themselves. Each building had to be repurposed for a specific wartime function, that would be part of a bigger whole. Each of the neighbors used what little they knew to sustain their island. And just like that, little by little, bit by bit, the neighborhood became more and more independent. Woodworkers built structures. Masons built bunkers. Blacksmiths smelted reinforcement. Nurses took care of field hospitals. Gamers took care of the hacking. Landowners took care of the food supply. Each building was reshaped depending on its specific typology. Corner buildings had to cover more grounds. Lower buildings were more exposed than higher ones. Peripheral buildings usually housed defensive functions, while central buildings favored vital ones. The concept of a single homeowner became obsolete. The building itself became the apartment, and the neighborhood, the building. It functioned as a community. Meanwhile, other neighborhoods were facing the same fate. All were in a perpetual arms race. All were civilians. All wanted to survive. Neighborhoods with higher structures were at an advantage compared to lower-rise ones. Each island became its own city-state, occasionally trading with the islands around it. Not a single shot was fired, yet. The first casualties fell when a group of neighbors decided it was time to escape Beirut through the river. Since roads were no longer safe, they escaped through other neighborhoods. They weren't welcomed warmly. This is when they realized fighting was the only way to survive. In order to escape Beirut, they had to annex their way out of it. The urban fabric was dense. The tactic was clear. Attack the enemy from inside, through the walls, or from above, through the skyscrapers. After fighting through the dense urban jungle, countless people trying to escape have found themselves stuck in front of impenetrable walls of concrete, steel or water. These walls cover the entire periphery of Beirut. The only way out was in. The port flourished on the war. It could maintain its status as a major market for arms trade. It was a designated no-fight zone, protected by walls to keep the fighting out. Another weapon fueling the war was religion, but with a twist. The House of the Legislative Power became the new Mecca, while the House of the Law became the stadium. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. The executive power, on the other hand, was now based in Beirut's luxury towers. The fate of the war was decided there, by a select few, through intensive lobbying. Since essential amenities such as paramedics have been relocated to neighborhoods as field hospitals, old hospitals were used as experimentation centers. For food abundant daily supplies, the central bank is now the place for handouts and food markets, while simultaneously carrying out its duties as a money laundering center. In big public spaces such as the Pine Park, the view is strictly Vietnamese, and stealth is the key for survival.
The nature of the park makes it a perfect spot for booby traps and tree camouflage. It is located between three rivaling communities in the city.
Lower density areas with open fields tended to be avoided. They slowly decayed into no man's lands, where reconnaissance missions to enemy territory were the main tactic. But no matter the tactic, and no matter the skill, one thing was for sure. Battalia is here to stay, and you will never be able to leave.